Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Tiffany Harlick with the Wise Guys Calendar, and this is my friend Julie with Julie May Astrology. Thank you, Julie, for joining me back for the October forecast.
I'm excited to be here again. Thank you.
So, Julie and I were just talking about the moon phases of October and how we're moving from this Aries full moon through the month and how it kind of starts the month out fiery and hot with the Aries full moon. But October, guys, it's a 1 month. And so it's a 1 month and a 9 year. And I like that because it's kind of bookendy feelings. It's the one starts things, it's fresh starts, it's initiations, it's reprogramming, and then the nine is a whole year of completion. So to me, that's a transition phase. It's beginning with an endings. And if you have felt like the summer has been a big, huge, long slog, maybe as we start October, you might feel a little bit differently. October 1st, traditionally, right, is a kind of a cornerstone moment in turning the seasons. October, as we begin, Mercury moves into Scorpio for the month, October 6th through 29th. Venus is going to move from Scorpio into Libra, or excuse me, from Virgo into Libra from the 13th through the 6th. So we've got Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Libra, and it feels like there's just some tension to work things out, to have some resolve, to balance things out, to come back to homeostasis. And so with that Scorpio fire energy in the sky and even the transformation of water in the sky, it feels like we're all trying to just break through and have another layer of understanding and return to a state of balance. So one of the first things we can look forward to is the full moon in Aries, which is in 14 degrees. And I'm just pulling up the other dates here on the calendar. But the full moon, the Sabian symbol with this particular full moon is an Indian weaving a blanket in the light of the setting sun. And a lot of times I like to play with the Sabian symbols with my clients just to, not that you have nothing else to do. I know you're all reading really incredible, enriching books and listening to wonderful podcasts and filling your life with amazing information. But on the off chance that you're at the full moon moment and you're at that critical illumination moment where the sun, I mean, excuse me, the moon in Aries is just calling to you to have a new idea, right? This is something that you could play with. What does that imagery mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you now? And play with it with fresh eyes. So there's this image of weaving a blanket in the light of the setting sun. Does it conjure up a memory, a smell, a feeling, an emotion? To me, anytime we're talking about weaving, it's like that tapestry of life and how the inner planets are the little threads, the little tiny things that we notice on a day-to-day basis that are different, that pull things out. And whereas the whole tapestry might be blue, and that's the outer planets that kind of gives us the flavor, the color, it's the little reds and the little purples and the little tiny different colors and of the way that the threads are lighting up that make the whole tapestry beautiful. So, Aries themes, right? Self-discovery, pioneering. It's a full moon. So that means that something started 18 months ago. So this lunar cycle kicked off April 8th, and it was an eclipse cycle, April 8th of 2024. So we had an eclipse in Aries. Now we've had an eclipse in Aries recently. So this Aries eclipse vibes, right? If you can look back to what was going on there, there was maybe an unplug from something that you wanted to start, something that got a false start, something that you were ready to do, and then it wasn't quite God's timing. The second moon in this particular family was January 6th of this year. There was a first quarter moon. So this January, you might have felt the pulse of the new blood, the blood flows starting something new. And now at this full moon in 14 degrees of Aries, something is revealed. You're pivoting something. This moon phase family will complete in July of 2026. So I was hoping, Julie, you could take the reins and talk a little bit about what you're seeing, what this full moon in Aries might mean for you personally, or just anything that has come to you as you've been contemplating October.
I
Yeah.
really liked what you were talking about with the tapestry because with this full moon, it feels like there's something some baggage that just needs to be dropped. And it's like, okay, well, where in that tapestry do I need to tie off and start a new line in it? And that's kind of what it feels like to me. So finishing something off and then, but still reconnecting there, continuing on, but within that new part of the tapestry of life. What are you moving toward and what feels right for you and authentic? So, maybe the first few parts of the tapestry didn't look as good as you thought they would, didn't feel right. This is the time to say, okay, let me tie that off and let's start again, like you were mentioning, and shift gears and take a new approach to what the rest of the tapestry is going to look like. That's how it feels to me. I know that I've been that way. I've made some starts and stops with just my astrology business. It was like, okay, well, that timing wasn't quite right. Nothing's moving yet. But this is a moment that it feels like I'm tying a few things off and starting other things to go with that too. So I feel like that's how it's affecting me right now.
I love that. Yeah, thank you. And I also just want to acknowledge too that October 1st in the Jewish traditions this year anyhow is Yom Kippur. This is my rescue, I mean my foster dog. And I know that it's highly unprofessional to have your pets in during your YouTubes, but I think this is her first time and we're having a training moment. And I think it's good to whatever incorporate whatever into the reading or into the forecast. So if this is a message for somebody to foster, then great. But yeah, the Yom Kippur starts at sundown tonight, and it's the holiest of days in the Jewish calendar. And it starts right this atonement and this repentance and this fast for many people. And it was kind of funny. I bought lunch today, and I got home, and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't want to eat. Why?" And I started looking around. I'm like, "Oh, it's the fasting day. It's a fasting day." So it could be that there's something that you do need to cut off or cut out or remove during this full moon cycle. Um, Aries, right, it's inspiring on the positive side. On the negative side, if you think about your best Aries friend and their worst quality, what comes to mind? There can be some brattiness, there can be some hot-headedness, there can be some feistiness, and we need that spice of life. That's what how the chicken gets out of the egg. Somebody's got to go first, right? It's beak energy, it's piercing, it's cutting, it's penetrating, it gets out there. And we need that. And it's not always perfect and pretty and tidy. It's not Virgo, right? It's not expansive like Pisces and nebulous. It's Aries. It's pointed. It's cuts to the chase. So there might be some things that need to be addressed deliberately, clearly, and honestly. Um, October 14th is kind of our next big astrological marker for uh, October. And we've got Pluto going direct in 1 degree of Aquarius. So if Pluto had a motto, right, it might be no pain, no gain. Pluto, a lot of times I've been writing about Pluto as the wrecking ball, and it's kind of, while it's true, it's also not a very poetic thing. Julie and I were talking earlier before we hit record that I had an emergency room experience on Sunday, and there is purification that comes after an intense amount of pain. And you guys know that feeling, that purge feeling, if you've been throwing up all night, if you've had diarrhea, if you've been sick from food poisoning, if you've had cysts burst, if you've had kidney pain, if you've been in an accident of some kind, there is a level of pain that you are sweating things out so thoroughly that a purification has to happen. And often it's in that pain that we surrender everything that we are, And I had another moment where I called my friend Alicia, who you guys know, and said, "Oh, if this is it, you got to tell Callie this, you got to tell my dad this, you got to tell, and you really think it's it. You really think your end is near when you hit such a threshold of pain that you can no longer bear it, you can no longer endure it, that something is chemically altered and you're a different person on the other side of that experience. Now, I don't recommend that level of pain for everybody, but I was thinking about the opposite of pain is pleasure. So in yoga, right? We're either avoiding the yogic philosophies, we're either avoiding pain or we're running towards pleasure. So we're avoiding this transformative experience or we're running towards a euphoric escape in some ways. And so there's this balance, the Ida and the Pingala, the inhale and the exhale that brings us into the Sushumna, into alignment. And I'm saying all of that in terms of Pluto, the wrecking ball, the one that turns pleasure and pain upside down and brings you to your knees and says, I surrender all again, again and again, and purifies. And so this energy, as we're recording on October 1st, of purification, of atonement, of repentance, of coming back down and removing what we think our life is supposed to be about in order to answer a higher calling. That's, to me, that's the power of Pluto direct. You're going to be tired before and after. You might not schedule uh, B appointments in the apiary back to back to back to back to back. You might have a lot of clients that need your help back to back to back. You might not have all you are to give, but I am going to look up which fixed star is at 1 degree of Aquarius while you share what your take on that October 14th moment is feeling like.
Yeah, that's that Pluto and 1 degree of Aquarius starting something out, but it's like something that's been stuck for a long time, breaks free, like maybe that piece breaks off of the iceberg and goes floating off in another direction. It starts moving again, and that breaking part, yeah, can be very hard and very scary, but it's going to move you forward to the things you need to be working on. Maybe there's a power struggle going on at work or in a friendship, and you make a tough decision that you've been putting off, you don't want to, but once you make that decision, you just free yourself from what you've been struggling about. And, or, you're getting pulled to something that's better for you. So hard, yes, but that deep change can really help you move toward something better for you.
I'm laughing because you're like, the iceberg breaks free, and that was my emergency room experience. Like, things burst, and now I'm free again. Okay, so Pluto also rules underground, gold, buried treasure, unearthing things. And so as long as you're here for the transformation experience, then I think you're gonna be just fine. The 1 degree of Aquarius, there's 3 fixed stars. Forgive my pronunciation. The first one is Sham, and it's combative, opinionated, jealousy, danger of death in battle. It's an unfortunate fixed star. It's in 1 degree and 4 minutes. The next one in 1 degree is Alberio, contemplative, cultured, artistic, congenial appearance and disposition. It's a fortunate fixed star. And then the last one is Altair, also known as the eagle, right? The eagle is a symbol of Scorpio, is a symbol of flight and the phoenix rising. And this is a neutral fixed star. And it says sudden but ephemeral fortune, impulsiveness, courage, accidents, astrology, and writing. Um, that we're talking about Pluto, and we're talking about Pluto direct and the momentous iceberg breaking shifts, tectonic plates moving. But let's also include the Aquarius themes. In what realm, in what department? So Aquarius themes would be tech, would be future thinking, would be it's fixed air, it takes flight. It's, notice what's going on. It's the water bearer. It's the one that has the resources that we need in order to live. Aquarius, we think about our groups, our networks, and those are changing too. And so if you have, like, I've just joined another new group and I've just exited another new group, and this one fits and this one doesn't. That's very 1-9. That's very Pluto direct in the 1st degree of Aquarius. It's worlds turning. It's communities shifting, right? It's even though you're in this neighborhood in your little world, you're also in this neighborhood in your tech world and how we meet in the online places. So just notice what kind of themes might be percolating there for us. So Mercury is going to enter pre-shadow in Scorpio October 21st. We're going to look at a Mercury retrograde period in November, which is the 9th through the 29th. And so Mercury will retrograde in Sagittarius and then Scorpio, right? It's kind of hovering around that part of your chart. So wherever you have Sag and Scorpio, that's where Mercury is going to hover over the next couple months. The pre-shadow period, anytime there is a retrograde period, there's also a pre-shadow period 2 weeks before, and then a post-shadow period 2 weeks after. So you'll notice some of the typical retrograde things coming into play, the delays, the things that feel like external events that are slowing you down, like you were ready to go, but now it's just that push-pull energy, that 1-9, that start, stop, fit, or where am I? Wait for God's timing, and then it'll go forward. Um, I I wanted to point out that a lot of people that are born, not a lot, 100% of people that are born in 80, 81, 82 had Pluto in um, uh, 22, 23, 24 degrees of Libra. Well, right now, Jupiter is in 22 degrees of Cancer. So a lot of people, in addition to the major astrological weather that's going on, they're also having a deeply personal experience of Jupiter in the sky in Cancer, the bosom, the womb, the mother, the Holy Mother, right? Squaring their natal Pluto in Libra. So people kind of, maybe there's some mommy issues, maybe there's some things that we're forgiving ourselves for as mothers. Maybe there's some kind of personal breakthrough in that is occurring. Um, Jupiter squaring your natal Pluto is definitely going to have that tense, more tense, irritable feeling to it, right? So it's like speeding tickets. It's things like too much too fast. It's things like if you think about all of the challenging sides of Jupiter and the things that happen in excess. So overeating, overworking, overthinking, oversleeping, doing too much, and then it kind of delaying a change. Um, this is something that your peers and your colleagues are all going through. So if you're born around 80, 81, 82, you're having that tension, that square come up. It happens in threes. And so right now you might notice a little extra tension based on some of that. The next little astrological candy is on the 21st. We have a new moon at 28 degrees of Libra. And so I wanted maybe you to share a little bit about that, and I'll pull up the calendar and show people the rest of the dates with that family.
Okay, so to me, this is like your full moon. That was okay. What needs to change? What do you need to drop? What do you need to let go of? And the Libra new moon just opens things up again. It's like, okay, now that you've let that go, here's a door, a new door, open it, see what comes, some fresh beginnings, especially around those Libra themes of balance and harmony in your daily life. You know, it could be relationships or routines, maybe just your inner peace, but it's an opportunity to start anew with something. A good time, of course, to write intentions for balance, for maybe better work-life boundaries or fair partnerships, maybe even more peace at home, whatever feels right for you. But it's a good day to start something new, meditation practice, whatever it is that's going to make you feel in harmony with those around you, with your setting, with your life.
I love that. Yeah, it's a nice new moon. I For me, let's see, so the 21st, we're having a meeting with my beekeepers group on the 18th. So you're still in that energy of that new moon, fresh new start, something right going on. And Libra is kind of detached. It's not man, it's not animal, it's not primal. It's just if is there more on this side, let's lower it. It's just kind of balancing things out. And to me, that's that thing that we were talking about at the beginning, that return to homeostasis, return to balance. What is health, right? It's the lack of dis-ease. It's the lack of dis-ease. And so how do you get to the lack of dis-ease is through homeostasis and balance. Um, The new moon at Libra at 28 Libra has a Sabian symbol. It's mankind's vast, enduring effort for knowledge transferable from generation to generation. And with my work and my conversations the last couple of weeks, that transferring from generation to generation has been a central theme in a lot of deep conversations. Um, it, it's the same data. It's the same poet that works through us. It's the same cosmic novel, right? We're just alive at this moment to tell the story. And so what is it that we want the future generations to have? And not necessarily even that we want, but what is it that we are transferring? What is our spiritual inheritance? What doesn't get to go forward? Where do we say no to something? In my family, there was a part of the generations that said no to culture, to language, that said we are immigrating here, we have been in exile and we are not going back, and therefore change your name, change your culture, change your belief, change everything about yourself so that you don't have to go back there. It will not be transferred, it will not be given to you. And so there's always going to be a deep longing for those of us in that whole of that generation that want the old recipes, the old religion, the old ways. So this idea of what gets passed forward and what doesn't, I think is an interesting concept to play with around this time. This new moon kicks off, you guys can see my screen, right? Yeah, it kicks off these dates. I won't read them out to you, but yeah, the one thing that trips me up about the sign of Libra is fairness and justice, because we are not promised a fair life. We are not promised a just life. We are not promised that everything's going to be okay if only we're just a good girl or if we just do it this way. Life does not get better, but we do. We can. We can reframe things. We can have different perspectives and we can do our best. I had a weird situation just this very morning with somebody where I'm like, that was so weird, because my heart is for everybody to win. And so when I'm taken in a way that somebody doesn't see me in that way, it completely distorts me, And so I feel like that distortion, I don't have to take it personally. They are mirroring what is going on in them, and I don't have to take it personally and fix things and make it right, because I know where my heart is, and it's absolutely to do good and to do the right thing and for the most amount of people involved, right? Like I just, it blows my mind. But that Libra is what is, we can be codependent, we can people please, we can try to worry too much about what you think versus I was simply just trying to help you. I'm sorry it wasn't received that way, and have a nice day. Nice shoes is what we say in my little friend group. Like, uh, nice shoes. Like, whoa. I'll stop sharing the screen, but I wanted to show you guys this because this is the time of year when the next year's digital calendar goes on sale. And so I just wanted to show you that you can click around and you can see what the different things are. You can learn about them that way and learn astrology by clicking on those throughout the year. So, okay, we got to the new moon point. Was there anything else that you wanted to share about the new moon or things that you were seeing?
Um, uh, well, when you're talking about for us, maybe life isn't fair, but I view Libra is how we're practicing out there and trying to share, be fair with others, you know,
Mm-hmm.
give them that sense, even if we may not feel like we're having getting a fair shake in life, but whenever we can help others and be fair with them, I think is a big Libra thing.
Yeah, and to also, like, even in conversation, mirroring back, what I hear you saying is this. Is this what you meant? No? Okay, good. Good choice. You know? Just to close out the month, because I think we've reached the maximum patience level of my little Foster here. October 22nd, Neptune is retrograde. It's going to move from Aries back into Pisces. So I think that 21, 22, 23 will probably be slower days. And the sun will move into Scorpio on the 23rd through the 22nd. So happy birthday to all of your Scorpio friends. Don't forget them. Remember us. We like it when you think about us. And by the end of the month, Mercury will move into Sag, that 29th, October 29th. And as it goes into Sag, just a reminder that it will eventually retrograde in Sag, back into Scorpio, go forward into Scorpio, back into Sag again. So I love Mercury in Sag because it's like, what are you going to catch up on? So if you look ahead to into November, what studies are you going to catch up? What book did you buy this year that you didn't get around to reading yet? Like for me, I bought this herbal course and I made it about halfway through the Nervines, and then life got in the way. I would love to go back into those videos and just soak it up in the winter months. And Sagittarius, like the philosophy expander, the king, the one who knows all of the lands, we don't we can know everything, but we don't have to. It's more important to be discerning with what we're learning. But I do love that Mercury and Sag vibe. I'll be planning a trip in December, that Sagittarius time of year that just oversees kind of cultural connections. I love to learn. It's just fun for me. So to me, I'm kind of excited about this retrograde cycle. And yeah, that's really all there is to it in October. Your personal transits are going to add flavor and seasoning to this crock pot that we just put together for you all. So we would love to hear from you guys in the comments how you're going, what you're seeing, what transits you're affecting you personally. If you're somebody that's going through your Uranus opposition or your Saturn return this month, you're going to feel some more depth to the month. But if you need to just anchor on one thing, anchor on the new moon. That's when the fresh new beginnings are. Anchor on today, October 1st. This is a time of deep reflection and a turning point, right? It didn't mean that in the way that it came out. An inner light, like it's a shift of gears. It's the 1 and the 9 working together. What are we starting now within this season of closure and ending? And like Julie indicated with the tapestry, what are we tying off neatly, succinctly, so that the iceberg is free to move on down the ocean? Yeah. Any closing thoughts that you're having or thinking or feeling?
I feel like even though there are some heavy spots this
Mhm.
month, that if you just focus inward and on what needs to happen within you, that you're going to go through those difficult spots. Maybe not difficult, but you might feel pressure filled in them, and you're going to come out on that new moon side and feel a lot lighter and feel like you're really moving in the right direction.
Okay, I love it. I want to move in the right direction. So I'm going to do a forced um, connection. So what else is it that we need to know for the month of October from my B magazine? Um, it says maybe the most persuasive argument to jettison old comb. So jettison old comb. What that means is we are removing the things that are in our houses that are causing pest disease, chemical residue that are keeping us unhealthy. So there's another little message, another little layer. What is it that you can take out of your very home, your environment, and purify? Jupiter is in Cancer, the home, right? So we want to be really sweet with our home in October. And for those of you who is squaring their Pluto, that's a perfect message, right? There's a purge, there's a cleansing, there's a detox moment. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you, Julie, for joining me. I love your insights. I'm excited to hear from you next month too. And we will look for your comments. And if you guys have questions for us, just let us know. We're happy to take a deeper look. And we'll see you around the membership. Thanks and namaste.
Namaste.